Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are going to continue our class today by continuing explaining the poem, which is my Last Duchess, from a new criticism perspective. What we are doing right now, we are explaining the literal work and paraphrasing at the same time. We are making focus on the etymology, their meaning, their connotations and their denotations, and focusing at the same time on the central paradox, which is, what is the central paradox in the poem that we talked about? All right, that the poem tells us much more about the husband, right, than telling us about the wife, right? And this is one paradox. Another major paradox, right, that the man assumes a kind of nobility as being a duke, but the way he speaks and the poem itself, it tells us things which contradict that assumption of nobility. Right? Well, the last thing that we explained last time, that it seems that the addressee was not interested, right, in hearing a lot about the portrait, and therefore by force he's asking him, what wilt please you sit and look at her, right, as if he is asking him in a manner of a command, right, a command in a manner of a question, as if sit down and look at her, the picture. Then why? To give himself a chance to continue what he started talking. What has he started talking? He wants to brag, to boast. I said that he's a boastful person, right? Someone who likes to show off. So he continues what he started by saying, I said, Fra Panlov, right? Repeating the name in order to what? To boast about the maker or the painter of what? Of the, as I told you, we cannot trust that the painter was Fra Panlov. Why? Because the speaker is not trustworthy. The speaker is not, we don't trust the speaker. Someone who kills his own wife, how can I trust someone who kills, right? I cannot make sure that Fra Panlov was the real one who painted but we will continue assuming that the one who painted it is Fra Panlov. So he says Fra Panlov by design, on purpose. By design here, it means that on purpose, for never read the strangers like you that pictured countenance. It means that, right, he by purpose, right, pictured that look, which is really difficult for strangers like you to understand. The way he speaks with his guest is impolite because he is calling him as a stranger, and he assumes that he is also dumb. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he assumes that dumb, he cannot understand what was the reason behind the look, the depth and the passion of the earnest glance, right, of the serious look on the face of his own wife, right? And at the same time, that although that she is having a serious look, but she has a smiley face, right? And therefore, right, what was the reason, right, behind, right, that smiley face? Now we will turn to another side of this man, a man who doesn't respect his own wife. Yeah. Right, and it tries to show that his wife was a bad woman. What kind of a man who would like to say that he is, right, that his wife was a flirtuous, right? Is he a noble man? No. Not even a man. Not even a man. So he says, but right, to myself they turned. I mean that the strangers like you, when they don't understand what was the reason behind that look, they usually ask me. They turn to me, right? Why me in particular? Because of one reason, not because I understand. No, right? Because I am the one who opens the curtains. Right? He is having a low esteem of himself, right? What's the meaning of that? That they turn to me because I am the only one who opens the curtains. Since none puts, since here, because, since here means, why do they turn to me? Because I am the only one. Puts the curtain, I have it drawn for you, but I am the only one who draws or opens the curtain, which I, in particular, has put that curtain. The question is, why do you think a person who thinks that portrait is a masterpiece of all times is hiding it with a curtain? As long as it is a masterpiece, a wonder, as he said. He said, I call it what? A wonder. Right? If it is a wonder, if it is a piece, a masterpiece of art, why? Right? Can you find a reason? Yes, please.
He wants to be able to control proceedings, because before you
Good. Which is tell us about his type of mentality. What kind of mentality is this?
He wants to have all the power that he can.
Yes. All right. A dictatorship, Petrarchian type of what? Of mentality. He wants to control, right, the looks of his own wife, even in her own portrait, right? Right. No one allows her, right, to look or to appear, right, except him, right? And seemed as they would ask me, and when I opened the curtain, they would ask me if they durst, if they dare to ask. Look at this. He sees himself as if he is someone people don't dare to ask. People don't dare, as if he's a fearful person, right? As if he wants to say, I am a mighty. I am a person whom people don't dare to ask me, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's showing off, right? But at the same time, he is showing off the opposite. Do you understand what I mean? People even dare to ask Allah, ask God for things, right? But he's trying to show off that he's the powerful, that he's the fearful character, right? He's the man whom people don't dare to ask. But if they dare to ask, what would they say, right? They will ask how such a glance came there. Why? What is the reason behind that glance on her face? On the face of the wife, right? What type of a glance is it? Earnest glance, but at the same time, a smiley one. A smiley one, right? Or he calls it joy. He calls it joy. How such a glance came there? So, not the first. طب هو سأله? No. He did not. So he asked the question and he tells him, you will not be the first one to ask. Although the man did not ask him. Right? So he asked the question and he wants to give the answer. He likes the blah, 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 blah. Right? An unstoppable what? Okay, a person, all right, who would like to talk all the time. Okay, so, right, and therefore, you will not be the first one to ask. All right? Okay, are you to turn and ask thus, although he did not turn and he did not ask? Do you understand what I mean? So you will not be the first one. And therefore he wants, sir, now he would like to what? To answer, to start answering, using the word sir to draw his own attention. Drawing the attention of whom? Of the listener. This is why he is using the word sir, right? In order to draw his own attention. And what I'm figuring out, that it seems that the person is not actually interested. And this is why he is calling him sir, right? It was not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy. It was not the presence of myself that made her smile. That made her? Come on. Look at this. What is he trying to insinuate? He's trying to tell us, yes.
She might be a cheater or she's betraying him.
A flirtuous. A flirtuous. Someone, right, that is made right, happy by other people than her own husband. So it might not my existence who made her.
Happy.
Look at this, all right. Although he tries to show off that he's mighty, he's powerful, and people don't dare to ask, all right? But this sentence shows us that he doesn't have enough confidence in himself, all right, to cause his wife to smile to him. Do you understand what I mean? فهمتوها ولا ما فهمتوهاش؟ That this sentence shows us that, yeah, he pretends to be powerful, and people don't dare to ask him. But the following sentence, we have connotations in this following sentence, which tells us that he doesn't have enough confidence in himself to make his wife to smile to him only. Right? It was not her husband's presence only. Now he's trying to show us too that his wife was not a good woman. And therefore, I say this goes against the nobility of the man. No, there is no noble man, okay, says bad things about his own wife. There is no noble man, again, says bad things about his wife. Okay? Not even a man. Not necessarily to be noble man. Especially in front of whom? As he called him. He called him a stranger. Didn't he? So, as long as you called him a stranger and you know him a stranger, how come you dare to say bad things about your wife for strangers? It means that you are not a man. فهماني ولا لا؟ Well, all right, I'll make it easy. Do you think a good man would say bad things about his wife in front of strangers? No. And this is this man. This man is trying to say bad things about his own wife in front of a stranger. How do we know that he is a stranger? He himself called him, you are a stranger.
Strangers like you.
Yeah, strangers like you. Right? Okay, fine. It was not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into the Duchess' cheek. Perhaps now he starts what? Guessing. Starts guessing what were the reasons, right, of her joy, right? But this guessing is not a good guessing, right? It is, I call it insinuation. What's the meaning of insinuation? Right? It is exactly like the devils when insinuates in your what? In your mind. What do we call it in Arabic? All right, yes. Perhaps. Right? فرابان لوف عواد رجع ايه؟ اوكي نرجع تعشينا في مش عارف وين. هي دي. Right? Okay. فرابان لوف. Maybe, he says maybe, while he was painting, Fra Panlof chanced to say, told her, Fra Panlof, her mantle laps over lady's wrist too much, right? So she needs to take her, right, clothes up. He's asking her to take her, right, the mantle on her wrist too much. Or maybe, he said, paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half blush that dies along her throat. Or maybe he told her that my colors will not be able, right, to resemble, right, the half flushed redness on your neck. Right? So she felt what? Right? She felt happy for this kind of what? Of appraisal, right? And therefore she what? She laughed because of the words, the nice words of whom? Of Rapanla. So he is assuming that she was not laughing to him. She was laughing for what we call it, right? The flattery. What's the meaning of flattery? Yeah. No, mujamala. All right. The flattery of Fra Panlof. What did Fra Panlof maybe told her that maybe your clothes are, right, they are too long on your desk, you need to take them up a little bit. Or maybe he told her that my colors will never reproduce. Reproduce, it means, right, make similar. Right, make similar. The faint, half flushed, right, the redness, which is faint redness that dies along her throat, on your neck. So I will not be able to bring the same color, to bring the same such stuff. Look at this. This is a noble man using a colloquial word, which is stuff. Who says such stuff? This is colloquialism. This is colloquialism. All right? This is a colloquial word which is used by a nobleman who is supposed to know, all right, or to use a noble language. Such stuff, right? حاجات زي هيك, all right? What? Such stuff, what? Okay, was courtesy to her. She considered these words as kind of what? Courtesy. What's the meaning of courtesy? Compliment. Compliment, right? Praisal, right? She thought. This is what she thought, right? The words of Fra Panlov as a kind of courtesy, and therefore she smiled. And this courtesy, what have caused enough for calling up that spot of joy, that caused her to what? To smile. So now what is the point here? The point that he's accusing his wife of being a bad woman, right? Who was not actually smiling to him, but she was smiling because of what? The flattery, right? The compliment that is made by Fra Panlov while he is painting, right? She had a heart. So he continues, ولا كان قلبها كبير. Look at this. She had a heart, right? Okay. And then he stops. Then he stops, right? To make the listener think about the different meanings of the word she had, heart. Because we might have different connotations. Either positive connotations or negative. كان قلبها كبير بقول لك. Right, then he stops for a while in order to describe, but he doesn't find enough words. Why? Because he doesn't know how to use the language. Right? Although he says that he is a noble man, right, and he knows how to use the language, but he uses colloquialism like such stuff. And now we will understand after a while that he is not good even in talking. He's not good in. So this man is, right, is not a noble man. He's, right, not well educated, right? This is why he is using, right, kind of colloquial language. He's not having enough confidence in himself to make his wife to laugh to him, right? We will see, yani, right? We know things much more about him, right? She had a heart. How shall I say? So he is asking a question that I don't know how to describe her, right? Too soon made it glad. So, right? She was, right? What do we understand? We understand who finds. Okay, don't take it as anti-feminism. Min bisahillu, right? A wife who is too soon to be glad. Right? Do you understand what I mean? Right? This is a bless. Right? This is not something wrong to say about her. Right? That she had a heart which is, I mean, anything makes her happy. Come on. This is a compliment. Right? This is something good. Not something bad, right? في ناس يعني you cannot make them happy. Do you understand what I mean? She had a heart. How shall I say? Too soon made glad. Too easily impressed. This is not nothing bad too. Right? So instead, it helps us, right, in what? In understanding the central tension again. That he wants to give us a bad image about his wife, but instead we understand that she was an innocent person who is easily made glad and easily impressed. Because the people who are easily made glad and easily impressed are innocent, simple people. Complicated people are not easy made glad. Right? Complicated people are not what? Easily impressed. Some people you might find like a log. Right? You don't, what's the meaning of log? L-O-G? لوح يعني. Right? You don't understand how they what? How they feel. You cannot understand whether they are happy or not. They are made glad or not made glad. Whether they are impressed or not impressed. But simple people, right, appears directly on their faces whether they are what? Happy or bad or whatever. And they are easily made impressed. And he had that little girl, right? By the way, in history, it says that the wife was 18 years old only when she was killed. But I don't want to refer to what? To history. I don't want to refer to the biography. بديش أحطها جزء. I'm dealing with what? With the text and the text only. Means that she is a child. Easily made glad, easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on. MashaAllah. Means that she's very good. Who finds a wife like this? لا ولا حدا انت اللي قلتيها. Who finds a wife like this? Right? She loves, right. I wish that, right, things يعني are clear to you, right? I'm trying to say that he got, all right, an innocent wife, right, who is, I'm not trying to make, right, personal references, right? What I'm saying, this is a kind of a little girl. This little girl, right, easily made pressed, easy glad, and she loved everything around her. Everything she looked at, she used to love, which emphasizes the same idea that she was a simple person. And her locks went everywhere. This is better. He tries to tell us that يعني عينها زايغة. Right? He wants to tell us what? Her locks and as long as she loved or liked everything that she looked at and she looked everywhere, that it means that she looked everything that she saw. Do you understand what I mean? والله ما انتوا فاهمين. Right? That she liked everything that she looked at. And her eyes went everywhere. And she used to look everywhere. And therefore she liked everything that she liked at. Right? Yeah. And smiles to everyone. Smiles to everyone. Right? Well, sir, again, binadi Ali. It seems that the man is not interested again. He's talking too much, right? He's a talkative person, right? It was all one. Look at this. To her, everything was the same. To her, right? That she smiled to little children as she smiled to her husband. She liked to a stranger the way that she smiled to her husband. And he doesn't like that, right? And whenever she expresses herself, she expresses herself in the same innocent manner. She loves everything that she sees. She likes children, she likes animals, she likes everything. And she would express herself in the same manner. In the same manner. So he said, it was all one. Everything was the same to her. My favor at her breast right? My love in her heart. My love in her heart, right, was similar to whom? The droppings of the daylight in the west. That she loved me in the same manner she loved the sunset. طب ايش بدك؟ رومانسي جدا. غلط يعني؟ Right? Do you understand what I mean? Right? That she loved me, my love in her heart was like her love to the dropping of the daylight in the west. Like the way she loved the sun set. Right? The way she loved the bow of cherries in some officious fool broke in the orchid for her. Right? She the same way, right? She loved, right, a branch of cherries. If a stupid person broke that branch to her and gave it to her. Look at this, right? He accused everyone, right, around them, although it was in the Western world something, right, courteous, not in our culture. But their culture, right, it was something normal, right? Right, in front and acceptable, right? That to break what? A flower or whatever, right? So she also smiled and reflected the same emotions, all right, towards everything. Even if an officious fool, a stupid person, right? Yani extremely stupid person, right? Look at the way he is having his own, right, attitude towards his own guests. مين اللي حيجي لها from the orchid, from the garden? It is around his guests. Do you understand what I mean? مين حيجرؤ انه يجي على الحديقة تبعته ويقدم له, right? It is his own guests. But he calls them officious fool. يعني someone يعني officious fool. Right? If officious fool broke a cherry's branch bow, right, and gave her, right, introduced it to her, she would, right, express her and to have the same joy exactly as she expresses her love to me. In the same manner. She will reflect the same emotions as she reflects when she sees the sunset or when she talks about her love to me. Right? She will have the same response. Right? So, right, the bow of cherries some officious fool broke in the orchid, in the garden for her and gave it to her. Right? The white mule that she loved her white house, a white horse, exactly the way she loved me. But because he hates her what? Her horse, he doesn't call it a horse, he call it mule, بخل. Right? Do you understand what I mean? So, yeah, sure. From the usage of the word officious fool, right? White mule instead of saying her white horse. معقول هي بدها تركب بغل يعني, do you understand what I mean? But she, the white mule she rode, that she used to ride around the terrace, she loved the white horse or the white mule the same way she loved me. ما فيش فرق بينهم كتير يعني. This is what he considers. This is what he sees himself. You know, he looks low at himself. Right? He thinks that she loves her mule the way she loves him. What kind of self-confidence is that? Means that he's having inferiority complex. What's the meaning of inferiority complex?
Psychological side is
ايش معناها بالعربي inferiority complex؟ عقدة نقص. نعم، الشعور بالتصاغر. عقدة نقص inferiority complex. This is how, right? He sees himself. He sees himself like any stranger gives his wife what? Okay, a cherry's branch. And he sees himself, right, like any officious fool, like any officious fool. He sees his love like her love to the mule, right? Okay, her love to the sunset. Right? All and each, now he comes to the conclusion. All these things that I mentioned to you would draw from her a like approving speech, that she would express herself towards all these things with the same words, with the same words, with the same liking words. My love in her heart, like the love of her own, right, horse that she rides to go around the house, around the terrace, right? Or maybe it will draw the same blush, not the same words, but the same blush, the same red face that she will feel shy to, because she is innocent. So we are not assuming that she always replies, but maybe she doesn't reply, maybe she blushes, not even smiles, right? Yeah. Okay? All and each would draw from her alike the approving speech or blush at least. She thanked men. Good. That she was polite. Anyone who is going to what? Right? She used to thank men. Right? But he's not actually angry that she thanked men. No. He was angry for something else. Pay attention to me. What was he angry for? She thanked men. Good. Well, okay. Good. I have nothing to do wrong with that. But thanked somehow that she used to think in a manner, I know not how. I don't know how to express myself. Because why? As if she ranked my gift of 900 years old name with anybody's gift. This is what he is angry for. That she thanked me in the same manner she thanked men. Right? As if she is making my name, the name of my family. The name of my family, which has lived, survived for 900 years with the name of another man. So he's not angry for himself. He's angry for the name of his own family. هي الحاجة الوحيدة اللي بيفكر فيها. You understand what I mean? This is why he's angry. He's angry because she dealt or she thanked everyone in the same manner. That she is polite. She is very polite. But he doesn't want her to thank him in the same manner that she thanks anyone else. Why? Because he sees that the name of his own family, which survived for 900 years, is much better than the name and the family of other people. So whenever she thanks him, she is supposed to thank him in a different manner. Why? Not because she respects him, not because she loves him, but because of the name of his own family. He's not angry for himself. He's angry for. Why? Because this is the only thing that he has, right, in order to be proud of. هو الحاجة الوحيدة اللي عنده. The only thing that he has. The only thing that he has, and the only thing that he is proud of. But psychologically speaking, he is not having the self-confidence. He's not angry for himself. He's angry for the name of his own family. Right? Well, so again, I say, right? She thanked men. Good. But thanked somehow, I don't know how, as if she is ranking my gift. He considers, right, his family name as a gift. Right? A gift. This is what he's angry for. My gift of a 900 years old name with everybody's gift. Like the families or the family name of everyone else. Who stoops to blame this sort of a trifling? Look at the way he speaks. Right? Who dares to blame or to what? Who can tolerate this trifling, trivial things? مين ممكن يتسامح مع هيك تفاهة؟ Who stoops
He is a celibate.
to blame this sort of trifling? Right? Who would stoop? Who dares to? Right? To blame this sort of trifling? Even had you skill in speech, you are the person who is good in speaking. Who's talking to whom? To the envoy. لأنه إيش شغلة الانvoy? Words, good in words. No. But he is not giving him a chance to speak. Do you understand why? Because he is a dictator. He only listens to himself. This is why we don't have a voice. بقول له حتى اللي زيك واللي شاطرين في الحكي, right? Which I have not. كل هالبرم هذا وبقول لك I don't know how to express myself, which means that he is not even good in using the language. ويمكن يطلع تأتي كمان. Right? Even had you skill in speech, even you who has this skill in expressing yourself, which I have not, right? Which I don't have that ability to express myself, to make yourself, you make your will quite clear, to make, right, to express yourself clearly to such and one, to such person, right, by saying, and say to her, right, just this or that in you disgust me, in order to tell her that, right, حتى الناس اللي زيك واللي شاطرين في استخدام الحكي راح يقولوا لها ايش؟ Just this in the, or that in you disgusts me. Look at the way he speaks. Is this a way to speak to a wife?
No.
Do you understand what I mean?
It's not a gentleman.
Right? That if you have good what? Right? Good way to express yourself, you will say this or that will disgust me. How about the one who doesn't know how to express himself? What would he say? Right? فاهم انت ولا مش فاهم؟ مش فاهمة؟
هذه النقطة لا.
Okay. He tells him, right, who can tolerate this trivial thing? Right? Now, no one can, tolerate it. Even the people like you who know how to express themselves, you will tell her, you disgust me. Do you understand me? Which I don't have this ability, which means يعني أنا كنت أقول حاجات. يا دي. Right? Even had you skill in speech, حتى اللي زيك, those people who are good in using the words, which I have not. I have that skill in using what? In using the language to make you will quite clear, to make your right intention clear to others, right? You would say just this or that disgusts me. This is disgusting me. Here you mess, right? Or there exceeds the mark. وهنا خلاص انت غلطانة وهنا ايش؟ زدتي عن ايش؟ عن الحد. Yes, خلاص. This is the way that you would say to whom? To your wife. Why? Because she is polite and she smiles to everyone. طب حد قال لك تجيب هدول الناس عندك أصوات؟ Right? Or that exceeds the mark. He wants to tell her that his wife is flirtatious, is bad. But we discover, look at the language that he uses. The word of disgust, you miss, you exceeded the mark, right? ايش يعني exceeded the mark؟ خلاص, yeah, exceeded your limits. خلاص, زدت عن الحد هيك. Right? Therefore, we find that this is a kind of not a husband who is dealing with his own wife, right? As if he is, right? I don't know. I don't have that skill to express myself well. Well, I don't mean it. I wanted you to laugh. Right? This is a dictator who talks to a servant. Right? Not a husband talks to whom? To a wife. Right? And if she let herself be listened so, right, ولو سمحت لك انك تبهدلها يعني. And if she let herself to what? Okay, to be listened or plainly set or to sit without showing any, right, emotions, her wits to yours and give you her wits, pay attention to you, forsooth, and made excuse without, right, then after listening to you she would go and excuse. والله انها مؤدبة جدا. Right, do you understand? Even then, حتى بعد هيك would be some stooping. I consider it as a kind of what? Stooping. Do you know what I mean stooping? Here, right? Yeah, a kind of a concession. That I make. اني بتنازل إلها يعني، مع اني انا بهدلتها ولسنتني وسمعتني وسحبت حالها ومشيت، اوكي، اللي انا بعتبره ايش؟ تنازل. I chose never to stoop. But I will never what? Stoop. انا قررت اني ما اتنازلش. تمام. ايش عمل؟ Oh sir, she smiled, no doubt. We will continue from here next time. Right?